Welcome back to One Punch Man Anime Review, episode number 9. Yep, this one I'm reviewing the 19th episode of the anime, which is called the S-Class Heroes. The Class S Heroes, well, the S-Class Heroes, depends how you pronounce the name. This one is apparently adapted from chapters 67 to 71, and the bonus chapter, Star, that was printed in this volume of the manga. Well, these books. Now, here's the thing about these particular chapters. They don't adapt the entirety of these chapters at all. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of pages in these chapters they just skipped over. My guess from looking at the brief teaser I saw from last week, it looked like they're probably going to cover everything else that was skipped over from this episode and next week. It's a possibility. Now, here's the pages they adapted from these particular chapters. From 67, they pretty much adapted the entire chapter. Well, I'd say half the chapter. Yes, I'd say like half the chapter. They adapted mostly around the first 25 pages, except for they skipped over 24. They skipped over 24. For 68, they adapted the first 2 pages and pages 8 to 44, skipping over 5 pages. For 69, they started from page 5, went to 27, skipped 28, and went from 29 to 41. For 70, they covered the first 17 pages, 1941, and a 46 to 54. 71 covered the first 32 pages, pretty much most of the chapter. And okay, here's the thing: the bonus chapter Star. I looked up I looked in here to see how long. I counted how many pages the thing. This thing is roughly 13 pages long. Guess how many pages they adapted for this one episode? 4 pages. They adapted the first 2 pages and then pages 8 through 9. That was it. That's all they adapted. And here's kind of the thing. I kind of predicted that it would get this far particular season by the end of the season. Not by episode 7. I mean, there's still some stuff that was skipped over from previous episodes they haven't really covered yet. Maybe next week's will probably cover like a lot of stuff they skipped over. Okay, what happens in this episode? There are several things. One, of course, you have the Child Emperor fading off against this eye monster, which, well, first he has a dog bot, which they actually cut out some. They actually shortened the fight with it. They cut like a small, like, couple panels here of him behind a car. Like, you see him as a dog hair robot battling against this thing, and he hops on this thing's chest, this demon's chest, and activates self-destruct, and it looks like he basically killed him. Nope, it just basically flayed off her clothes and just having her mode. And eventually she's defeated by having Pig God, that's seriously this guy's name, this overweight superhero. How does he defeat her? He swallows her whole. That is not a joke. That's seriously what the guy does. Yeah, first she tries to, guess this is basically kind of Medusa snake thing, tries to poison him with her Medusa hair. Does nothing to him. Then he just somehow, some way, swallows this entire creature whole. And he's like, oh, I'm full. Burp. Walk away. That's it. Wow. What a lame way to kill a monster. By having one of the superheroes eat it whole. Or at least swallow out chewing it. Well, yeah, well, this is so lame. Even the manga, this is lame too. Okay. What's going on with Saitama? Okay, he has some brief battles with a few people, fights up against Steroid in the last part of the battle. By the way, I looked up, see, like, there's actually more that happens with this afterwards in the award ceremony. They cut it out of this episode. Yeah, then they cover like half that chapter, chapter 70. I at least got handed to the anime for doing a fantastic job with the fight between these two. It's well handled, and from what I can tell, they cut nothing from this fight. It's not lackluster. It's pretty interesting. Even though it's somewhat one-sided in a way, but that's what it was in the manga. But I'm glad the fact they cut nothing from this at all. Also, the post-credit sequence in here, when it features Genos, that's actually from the start of chapter 67. Yeah, that's the weird thing about 67. They actually adapt this thing backwards. Yeah, they basically put the chapter backwards in this episode, which I thought that was bizarre. Oh yeah, then we have these A-class heroes. One of these people actually was in chapter 60. 5, I think it was. Yeah, he appeared for like 2 pages. 2 pages that were skipped over for some reason. Still not put in the anime for some reason. Yeah, where he tries taking this creature, and all of a sudden Flashy Flash shows up, slices this giant octopus's eyes, and then Terrible Tornado shows up and just squeezes it. And it seems like, I'm not sure exactly what happened with the voice actors. It seems like they changed voice actors for Terrible Tornado. And is it just me? Now, I have been watching the sub for Case Closed, aka Detective Conan. Why in the world does the Child Emperor have the same sub actor as Conan? I mean, 2 kids. Why not? Yep. Also, they develop a poison here. The sub for the Monster Association. Now, there's this very weird. Now, for the chapter, it's 67, I think it was, right? No, 69. Yeah, there's actually a good 4 pages that features the Atomic Samurai students. For some reason, they decided not to put those in for some reason. By the way, when they get to this particular scene, yeah, believe it or not, this is how they start. Okay, there's these 4 really good pages between his 4 students, and for some reason, we cut to this. We see, like, let's see here. Where's the Saki? They actually put this panel in here of them talking about the Hero Hunter. Actually, like, just before this, like, they open up with this scene with this particular panel right here. That is how they cut this scene. A bottle of alcohol. Yep. Now, as for how the episode proceeds, now one of the swordsmen, there's these holy sword. This is like a group of 5 swordsmen, modern day swordsmen, mind you. Basically, have a meeting, and of course, that's when they discover the Monster Association. And one of them becomes a member of the Monster Association by selling his humanity. For some reason, like in the manga, we clearly see his face very well. In the anime, for some reason, they decided to shadow his face for some reason. I have no idea why. It's a mild change. I'm fine with it. But yeah, he got a cool looking monster form, but he got easily beaten by the Atomic Samurai by being turned to dust. Yeah, I'm not really sure of why they decided to skip over the first 4 pages of this chapter. It's particularly very bizarre. I'm trying to think what else here. Yeah, there's some scenes at the Hero Association headquarters. Also, there's a brief flashback of, well, Sairou basically just chillaxing. Now, these 2 panels were actually not in the anime. Nope, they were not. You see here him talking. There's no flashback here, which I'm like, okay, I don't know why. But I gotta say, I would say that the best thing about this episode that the JCs have did really well is the fight between Saitama and Sairou. Like, a lot of the fights in here, like, also the thing with Terrible Tornado, what she did with the octopus monster, yeah, that's all pretty much, like, uncut. Nothing changed here from what I can tell. Though they did shorten the fight between Pig God and the Gorgon creature. Yeah, but I still think it was weird that for a chapter 67. Okay, let me show you this. Okay, this is how the episode ends in this episode. Okay, that's not it. Okay, let's see if we can find it here. Now 67, which is the last chapter printed in this book, book 12. Yeah. Yeah. The chapter itself starts off with this. Actually, this portion now. The first 2 pages are in the first couple minutes of the episode, plus more fights. These 2 pages here, these 2 pages right here, are actually put at the end of the episode. Which I'm like, okay. I get kind of the reason why they kind of changed the order, because, well, a lot of stuff is happening kind of concurrently with each other. That's the odd thing about One Punch Man. There's a lot of fights happening at the same time, so they gotta basically put these particular fights at particular order. That's one possibility. Yeah, but I would say that the one chapter that suffers from adaptation-wise is the chapter star. You have a 13-page chapter, and you adapt 4 pages. You don't even show the entire fight of basically Sweet Mass basically slicing up like the monster show of his content. You briefly show the outside of the building, and then all of a sudden later on you cut to something else, and then the thing cuts back to him basically just killing the monsters just like that, and saying that you ruined my concert. Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me. It didn't seem like they adapt the whole bonus chapter. It's also the first time I can think of they adapt a bonus chapter for the anime because they generally don't in the past. Nope, they didn't. But my guess is because this particular thing happened at the same time with a lot of these other chapters. Why the heck not? Otherwise, though, for this episode, this was okay. It's an okay episode. It's not a terrible episode. I would say animation-wise, a lot of stuff is really good. As stuff changed from the manga, aside from some things are shortened and stuff was cut, nothing has really changed from the stuff that you see in the anime. It's presented pretty much the same way as it was in the manga, which I do appreciate that. I forgot to mention this in last week's review. The scene, the little moment of Genos receiving a phone call to go out fight monsters. That is an anime original. That is not from the manga. That's something added to the anime itself. Yeah, but it's actually a really good addition. I gotta at least praise JC Staff for that. Now I'm thinking, okay, they're halfway this season because, well, they announced this week 12 episodes, and they just cut out like a bunch of stuff in these chapters for a lot of it for no reason at all. But from the one teaser I saw, it looks like that the pages they cut off from, I think there was one chapter they did this for. I think it was possibly, it may have been chapter 60, it may have been 71. They're probably going to put the rest of that chapter in next week's episode, which is the Strong Heroes Fight. Resistance of the Strong, even though that the episode itself called it The Strong Ones Fight Back, but Viz Media refers to it as Resistance of the Strong. It has the dog hero basically get into the fight, which I do praise and actually have them actually do some fighting. But we have to wait next week and see exactly how much they adapt for this one. But I would say probably the one chapter that didn't skip any pages, matter of fact they didn't finish up in the chapter itself, was 71. They adapted pretty much almost the entirety of the chapter. There's a good about 20 pages left. They're probably going to adapt that probably next week's episode. Now, unlike the last couple weeks where they adapted like a whole boatload of pages the first couple minutes, the first couple minutes of this episode is just the opening 2 pages of chapter 67, and then it goes right to tails and goes something else. Yeah, very disappointing. Unlike last 2, which have the whole boatload of pages, just 2 pages. That's it. And plus, the opening teaser was really, really quick. It is by far the quickest teaser this entire season so far. Because normally these teasers are about 2 or 3 minutes long. This teaser was roughly less than a minute. Yeah, it's quick fight and set up the whole stuff for the next part of the episode. And you go straight to the opening titles. Which, by the way, I gotta say, despite the fact it's not the song from the season 1, it's a damn good song. And I love the visuals for this. I love the visuals for the opening titles. Yep. So yeah, that's particularly it for this particular review. I know I kind of rambled on basically about stuff I just didn't like some of the changes. Well, stuff they cut out, but they're probably going to say it for next week. Hopefully, I'm kind of having this strange fear that JC Staff might treat One Punch Man the way the studio pair treated Toguri, where they said we just rushed the manga. I would say so far they haven't. Not really, no. Because they don't, even though for this episode you can kind of see some evidence of it because of some stuff they skipped over. As a matter of fact, there are actually two heroes who appear in, I think it was chapter 68, who do actually don't physically appear in this episode. Yes, it's, let's see if I can find them here. Yeah, for some reason, these 2 heroes do not appear in the episode itself. One, of course, is this guy here, Bones. Yeah, for some reason, they cut him out of the manga, the anime. I don't know why he's not there. They cut him out and the other guy. Yeah, I have no idea why this is. Yep, they cut him out. And yeah, they cut out 2 heroes from this particular chapter. I'm not sure why. Maybe they might do a flashback sequence or something. I hope they do something to basically put the stuff they skipped over in next week's episode. But who knows? It all depends on what JC7 wants to do, okay? But yeah, I have roughly 3 more videos I'm going to do today. Next one is going to be Black Clover. Yep. After that, be Fairy Tail. And finally, Case Closed. And yes, I'm hopefully going to get a chance to do this tonight because I've only got 2 episodes left, so it shouldn't take me very long to get through it, okay? But see you in the next video. Bye.